When we know about the impressions that have been imprinted in past life, that itself can relieve us. You are coming out of many of your karma. How to know about the past life? That's what we're going to explore into in this session. This has been almost like proven by many of the researchers that there is a solid evidence that past life exists. But the big question is, can we recall the past life of ours? We are going to talk about few of the processes which have been used by the researchers, practitioners in the domain of past life. All these processes we are going to understand, we are going to delve into in this session. So let's get in and understand what are these processes which can give us clue and cue how to remember past life. When we are talking about past life existence, few of the cases already have been so much talked about that they have been researched and gone into depth. How we can know about our own past life? So for that, like a scientist, let's investigate into it. What exactly has happened in few of the cases? In earlier sessions, we discussed the case of Robert Snow, a police officer who was in a party where a past life regression therapist was saying about past life. Robert Snow said, I don't trust in that, and for fun, he underwent that regression process, and that gave him so much of insight into the life of Carol Beckwith, which compelled him to get more deeper into that, and which has been documented in the book Looking for Carol Beckwith. This is one aspect, the past life regression, and it's a therapy. There are many experts who are doing this. One of the most respected pioneer in this field of past life regression is Dr. Brian Weiss. Dr. Brian Weiss has written multiple books, many masters, many lives, Only Love is Real, Miracle Happens, and maybe more than 10-15 books he had authored, all of them giving case studies. About few thousand cases he has already documented. What exactly happens in past life regression is a therapist would take you through a process of hypnosis. Through those suggestions, you slowly drift into a past life memory. This is a very powerful therapy. Many people who go through past life regression, once they find out their past life memory and for the reason which they are suffering in the present birth, that helps to come out of their trauma or different blocks in their life. So this is one of the most used mechanism, past life regression process. The second one is deja vu. Deja vu is a concept wherein you suddenly start thinking that this I have already experienced before. Let's say somebody you see, you are totally perplexed. I do not know for what reason this person seems to be so familiar to me, as if I know him for years. Does it happen? It happens with many of us. Sometimes you visit a place, it feels like as if I have come to this place earlier. Similar is the case which happened. Dr. Norm Shelley, one of the most regarded doctors and scientists in the domain of pain management. In 1972, in a conference, when Dr. William Kroger, another speaker in the conference, the moment he said John Elliotson, it was like something happened to Dr. Shelley, as if something has changed inside him. Instantaneously, he said, oh my God, that's me. This is deja vu. The moment that name occurred, immediately something changed, as if it was so familiar and he is that. That's deja vu. Deja vu is something which also gives us clue. As in this case, he investigated into that. And he then found out Dr. John Elliotson was a doctor in UK in the past century. He was also conducting research on pain management. This person who had never heard about this name, and later on when he narrated some of the things that he did in the past life and they went and checked, so many things could be found out and could be established. Whenever there is a deja vu, many of us, so we just leave it at there. We say, oh, it seems so familiar. Okay, that's it. But if there is a deja vu, something comes to your mind and you are completely thoroughly shaken by that unusual feeling in you, the best thing that you can do is go for a deja vu analysis. Relax your mind and start looking at the same event, same person. Where have you seen that person? What happened? How that person's face was feeling so familiar. Can you find that out? Is there any other cue that was there along with that? Experts suggest if there is a deja vu, don't leave it at there. Start documenting it. Write that down. Find out what else such similar cases has happened in your life which takes you to such kind of feelings, and slowly you can connect the dots. Now moving on further. Dreams. few of the cases that we already discussed in the earlier sessions. One was the Purnima Ekanayaka case of Sri Lanka, who is a girl, and she said that he was killed as a man in the previous life, and it was so compelling for her to see the dreams and also spontaneous thoughts, spontaneous memory. She was knowing that yes, I am that, I am not, as if body was giving her that kind of a sense, I am that man, having those pictures in her mind and dreams. Same happened with James Leninger, a small kid in the US who started talking about a pilot in the past life and who died in a battle when his airplane crashed. Jim Tucker, the person who investigated in the case, who was head of a division of perceptual studies in University of Virginia, and then they finally concluded that this cannot be explained in any other way than past life. So James Leninger case, again dream and spontaneous memory. And the same also happened with the case of Shanti Devi. She was 9 years old. She was almost like crazy that this is not my home. My home is in Mathura. She was speaking a dialect of Mathura. Same was Purnima's case. She was speaking another language at very early age. So these are evidences. And how this was happening? Through dreams, they were getting a lot of input, and also through spontaneous memory. There is a process called lucid dreaming and dream analysis. Just you need to have a dream journal, and in the dream journal, you just need to write down the recurring dreams. And lucid dreaming actually having two components. One component is you know that you are dreaming. When you are sleeping and dreaming, you are clear, you are aware that you are dreaming. The second aspect of it is you also can intervene in the dream. But most lucid dreamers, they allow spontaneously it is happening, and they are aware of it, and they also grasp a lot of information from their dreams. How to develop that proficiency for lucid dreaming? Few of the quick tips. 1, documenting. 2, in the night when you are going to bed, you need to have an affirmation. In Sanskrit, this is known as sankalpa. You take a sankalpa, an affirmation that I am sleeping and the entire dream world I am aware of. I remain conscious in the dream state. Lucid dreaming, where we get information from our dream and know our past lives. Many of the researchers have put it, the dream is the window to peep into our past lives. I have the most important one to share with you now. How we can get into the past life through some simpler processes which everyone can do. When we know about the impressions that have been imprinted in us through the past life processes, that itself can relieve us. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, that's what Sri Krishna is saying, that you need to know your internal impressions. By knowing that, you are coming out of many of your karma. And now we will talk about another very, very important text. It's the Patanjali Yoga Sutra of Maharshi Patanjali, where it's been talked about. There are 4 parts of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In the Vibhuti Pada, Pada is every part. Vibhuti is supernatural powers, grace, blessings of the universe. The 18th aphorism of Vibhuti Pada talks about samyama of the impressions. Attention, awareness and absorption, they combine, and we focus on one thing, that's called samyama of one point. So in 18th sutra of Vibhuti Pada, it's mentioned that when you have samyama on past impression, you get to your past life. Meaning, every past life memory has an impression. Through our traits, through our emotionality, through many things inside, through our physical body. The moment we put our samyama, that means our complete attention to that, complete awareness to that, we absorb into it, we completely integrate with it, we get the sense that there is a past life and these are the stories. How do you do it? By looking at your exceptional emotionalities. That means, let's say you are very angry with certain kind of behavior. You are very sad when something happens. Something makes you terribly scared. All these things you just need to keep a note of. Then you need to meditate upon that. When we say meditate upon that, first you take your attention to that. Know that. And we are inward now. So we will not be disturbed when we are putting our attention on our behavior, on our emotion. We are easily just observing them, witnessing them unconditionally. We are just flowing through them, and then we get integrated into them, where we get cues, clues, and some signals of past life memory. Initially, you may have very faint kind of memories, and they may not be memory at all, but you will get insight, intuitions, as if somebody is guiding you through that process. But this needs practice. This is one of the most important practices which can take you through to your past life memory. We can also look at our déjà vu, look at our dreams which are recurring in nature. And if you feel like, you can also go for a therapist who can do past life regression and find it out for you, how and where you were there in the past lives. If you like the content, if you really loved it, please do help it reach out to larger audience, so that more and more people also come to know about this fascinating field of study.